The cybersecurity landscape changes. New threats emerge. New technologies create new attack surfaces. But here's what I've learned from years of working in this field. The fundamentals don't change. Patching, MFA, tested backups, phishing awareness, these have been effective for a decade and will remain effective for the years to come. This module is about staying current without it becoming a second job. What changes, what stays constant, and what a sustainable approach to security awareness actually looks like. This course is a starting point, not a destination. The knowledge you have built across 20 modules will not stay current forever. Cybersecurity is one of the few fields where the landscape changes meaningfully year on year. But here is what makes that manageable. The distinction between what changes and what stays constant. If you hold the constants clearly, you do not need to track every new development. What changes? Attack techniques evolve, new malware, new phishing tactics, new exploitation methods. The tools attackers use become more sophisticated and more accessible, including AI-powered attacks. New technologies create new attack surfaces, IoT devices, cloud systems, connected vehicles. Regulations evolve. Specific threats become more or less prominent as attackers follow money and opportunity. What stays constant? The attacker's goals remain the same: access, data, disruption, money. The fundamental weaknesses they exploit remain consistent: unpatched software, weak credentials, human trust. The defenses that work remain consistent: patching, strong authentication, access control, backups, training. The human element, judgment, awareness, and culture remains the decisive factor. The defenses that work against today's attacks are the same defenses that worked against last year's and will work against next year's. MFA in place cannot be bypassed by stolen credentials alone. Offline backups cannot be reached by ransomware. A skeptical, pausing recipient fails a phishing attempt regardless of how convincing it is. The fundamentals do not expire. Staying current means keeping up with new expressions of old problems, not learning an entirely new discipline every year. 5 developments in the current threat landscape deserve specific attention because they represent meaningful shifts rather than incremental evolution. Understanding them at a conceptual level is enough. AI-enhanced attacks. Large language models enable attackers to produce highly convincing phishing emails at scale, perfect grammar, personalized content, context-aware messaging. Voice cloning enables convincing phishing attacks using a real person's voice. What this means for you: the grammar and spelling red flag from Module 4 is becoming less reliable. Domain checks and process verification matter more than ever. Urgency and authority are still the key signals. AI can improve the quality of the lure, but it cannot change the fundamental structure of a phishing attempt. If something is unexpected, creates urgency, and requests action outside normal channels, pause. Verify through a separate known channel. Ransomware as a service. Criminal groups lease ransomware tools to less skilled operators in exchange for a percentage of ransoms. This dramatically lowers the barrier to entry. The number of ransomware attacks is growing faster than the number of skilled attackers. Tested backups, patching, and MFA remain the most effective defenses, regardless of which variant is used. Passkeys and passwordless authentication. The shift away from passwords to passkeys is accelerating. Major platforms are pushing adoption. Enable passkeys wherever they are offered. They are strictly better than passwords, plus MFA for most threat models. There is no urgency, but no reason to resist either. Regulation catching up with technology. The EU AI Act, the Cyber Resilience Act, and NIS2 extend cybersecurity requirements to new sectors and new types of product. If your organization develops software, connected products, or operates in newly regulated sectors, expect new security requirements in the coming years. Supply chain attacks at greater scale. compromising trusted tools, libraries, and software updates is growing in frequency as attackers recognize the leverage of attacking one supplier to reach many targets. Keep software updated, minimize your footprint, and support your organization's vendor vetting processes. The security industry produces an enormous volume of content. Reading all of it is a full-time occupation. Reading none of it leaves you disconnected from meaningful developments. The practical approach for a non-specialist is a light touch, curated routine that takes less than 30 minutes a week. National cybersecurity agencies, ENISA for the EU, the NCSC in the UK, Kurt Polska in Poland, the BSI in Germany, ANSSE in France, all publish free advisories, threat reports, and guidance. Authoritative, non-commercial, and directly useful. haveibeenpwned.com. Early warning when your personal data appears in a breach. Subscribe to notifications so you are alerted automatically. Accessible security news. Krebs on Security, The Record, Bleeping Computer. Readable non-technical coverage, suitable for a weekly headline scan, not a daily read. Your own organization's security team, the most directly relevant information for your specific context. Make sure you are subscribed to whatever internal security communications exist. Subscribe to your national cybersecurity agency's alerts. Enable breach notifications on haveibeenpwned.com. Scan one security news source once a week. Headlines only unless something is directly relevant to your work. Complete refresher training when offered and ask for it if not. When a major incident makes mainstream news, read one article about it. That is it. 30 minutes a week, maximum. Sustainability matters more than comprehensiveness. The most practical commitment to ongoing security awareness is not continuous reading. It is an annual structured review. 2 hours once a year. Review your passwords. Check haveibeenpwned.com. Update your password manager. Ensure the accounts you use most have unique, strong passwords and active MFA. Review your device security. Automatic updates enabled on all devices. Full disk encryption active on laptops. Remote wipe set up on phones. Review your connected apps and permissions. Audit third-party apps connected to Google, Apple, and social media. Remove what you no longer use. Review app permissions on your phone. Review your backup status. Restore an actual file from your backup to confirm it works. Check that the offline copy is current. A backup that has never been tested is an assumption. Scan major developments of the past year. Read one annual threat report from your national cybersecurity agency. Complete any refresher training offered by your organization. If none is offered, ask why. 2 hours, once a year. Less time than a dental checkup and considerably more consequential for some people's digital health. And if you want to go further, the ISC2. Certified in cybersecurity, the CEC is the most widely recognized entry-level cybersecurity certification and is currently free to sit. It covers similar conceptual ground to this course, but at greater depth and with a formal examination. A natural next step for anyone who found this course engaging. Details at isc2.org, CompTIA Security, plus goes a step beyond in technical depth, particularly relevant for people moving into IT roles with security components. Try Hack Me and Hack the Box offer guided, hands-on exercises at various skill levels, gamified and accessible for beginners. SANS Institute offers the most rigorous technical training available, suitable for people actively moving into specialist roles. You do not have to become a security professional to be a security asset. What is both achievable and genuinely valuable is being the person in your team who understands what is happening, applies good habits consistently, notices things, and speaks up. That person, at any level of any organization, is worth more to security outcomes than a distant policy document or a technical control that nobody monitors. Alright, before we move on, here are the 3 things from this module I want you to hold on to. Number 1, the fundamentals don't expire. MFA, patching, tested backups, phishing awareness. These are the same defenses that worked last year and will work for next year. Number 2, AI-enhanced phishing makes the grammar check heuristic less reliable. Structural red flags remain: unexpected, urgent, outside normal process. Verify via separate known channel. Number 3, minimal viable diet. National agency alerts, haveibeenpwned.com notifications, 1 weekly news scan, under 30 minutes a week. Now before you move on, there's one question. A colleague says I completed security training 2 years ago, so I'm covered. What is the most accurate response? The correct answer is B. The fundamentals don't change, but new expressions of old problems do. 2 years ago, AI-generated phishing emails were rare and usually easy to spot. Today, they are indistinguishable from legitimate communications. 2 years ago, ransomware as a service was emerging. Today, it has lowered the barrier to entry dramatically. New regulations, the AI Act, the Cyber Resiliency Act, have changed compliance obligations for many organizations. Security training is not a one-time event. It is a periodic refresh against a shifting landscape. Next up, Module 21, From Concepts to Practice. See you there.